Welcome to the Archotechs, a RimWorld fluid ideology series about pursuing the Archonexus. Episode 46, 2 Ways to Backstab. To briefly recap last episode, we turned our base, which was a whole bunch of separate buildings, into a bit of a compound, but it hasn't been walled up yet. We also brought in 4 refugees seeking some shelter, and they've been honestly a pain. If you're wondering why I haven't enslaved them yet, it's because I don't want them as slaves. They kind of suck as slaves. None of them are particularly good. But if a royal tribute collector came by and they were like, hey, you have any prisoners or slaves? I would immediately imprison them. We also got a bit of a mech cluster here, and that's going to be my focus at the start of the episode, clearing this cluster and making sure that it does not endanger anyone. So here is my game plan. My game plan is to focus on the multi-analyzer and the wooden bed that broke, getting some of the fermenting barrels up, and then getting the smoke launcher and destroying this mech cluster tomorrow so that it can't endanger us. So one of the things I wanted to do is to change the priorities of my guests so that they start to cut trees down. And I'm also going to I'm going to build like a double pen here. And the purpose of the double pen is so that I can move animals from the top half down temporarily, and then I'll force this gate back open once it's safe. Another thing I wanted to do is to get some elephant leather formal clothing for Sven, and also replacement clothing for Trustin, and soon I'm assuming Bunny, Noluk, and Zaleb as well, because that is going to be important. So let's go ahead and work drive Trustin wherever he is. Here he is. So that he makes that stuff quicker. And Denishi, you were going to go from cleaning to grow and plant cut, because I need more rice sown. So that's the game plan. There is the multi-analyzer, and that's going to allow for fabrication to be researched, which is going to be very important. Bunny is working on getting her psi focus up so she could be a good psi caster. And then all of these guests here are just cutting as many trees down as they can. I think what I might do is to move the guest beds out temporarily, or rather permanently, so that they don't share quarters with slaves, and that would keep them a little bit happier, because I don't need to make them unhappy for no reason. I mean, I kind of like to. Watching them have tantrums and all, rather hilarious, but I'm going to hold off just so that they don't have too many tantrums, because they all are about to go ape. And if I could avoid that, that would be great. At some point, we will set up the formal slave quarters, but I'm just going to work on getting the mech cluster and the horses safe for now. There we go. So into a daze. Figured that was coming. So Trustin should be headed down to start to tailor. Yeah, and here he goes. Formal vests. Good clothing for us. Carbon is about to have a mental break. One thing I could try to do is to throw a passive cooler in here. I know that the doors are held open, so it's probably not going to be that effective as of a passive cooler. But, well, I'll do it anyway. And the run to cut a whole bunch of trees is definitely working out, because now I'm starting to have a surplus of wood, which will immediately disappear as soon as I unforbid the bridge project, but at least this will be useful for now. All Alright, so the animals now just have to get roped from the northern half to the southern half. It looks like Zlub is doing that now. And with ground pen scanning up, let's go with fabrication. We have a pretty severe lack of components on this map tile, so it's going to be really important for me not to use components until I can renew them with resources. AKA fabricator. Alright, so we got our formal vests, and now we're going to get our formal shirts, and then once we have the armor, I will switch the weapons and then attack that mech cluster. So over here, as you can see, Bunny is clearing out any of the components that I can mine, but you all also may be able to see that I am nearly out of sources of components, so it's going to be important to get that fabricator up and running before I don't have enough to build it. Alright, sending Sven down here to wear the vests. And then clear. Cool. So Trustin and Sven now have their appropriate apparel. It's 9 in the morning, and it is time to activate the mech cluster. So I think the way I want to do this is to stand like here or something, right next to all the turrets, so that I can knock them out quickly with the smoke launcher. Hoping that my guests don't have some sort of mental break as I do this, because it looks like they might have. I'll hit marksman command. And then have Sven start smoking up everybody. So let's go ahead and attack charged rifle. I'm actually going to have Bunny sit this one out so that she can use psycasting. And what do we got? There we go. Now they're popping out of their pods. 2 scythers, a pikeman, and the mech drop is landing some mechs near us. So what I'm doing now is just to use psycasting to neutralize the mechanoids that I don't really want to have to fight. Some of the mechs are going to probably head south and cause some chaos down there, but that's fine. I just want to isolate as many of these turrets as possible, because the turrets are really a lot more dangerous than the mechanoids, in my opinion. And as soon as the turrets are neutralized, I'll be able to move around, not requiring smoke cover, and clear out the rest of the mechs. Oh, I shouldn't be shooting smoke at it, though. That's not helpful. Alright, let's see. You guys fire on the scyther. Is this scyther hurt? Not really. Okay, don't fire on that scyther. Keep firing on the turrets. I'll berserk the scyther. Alright, we are within vision of one of the turrets here, but it's going bye-bye. So, taking a look, there is an Inferno turret there, and that is the last turret, and then it's just down to mechanoids. So, for us to push forward, let's try to push right where these mechs are, and clear these mechs out to take over where they're standing now. There we go. Moving up. And to quickly neutralize, especially the Lancer, I would say, because the Lancer is definitely the scariest of the enemies that are over there. Because you can easily die from one shot from a Lancer. So I've just berserked it in order to try to get it destroyed by its the fellow mechanoids that are standing there. Lay down some additional smoke cover so we don't get set on fire. Because I know I don't really have a lot of cover here. I've gotten probably pretty lucky not getting hit. I don't want to risk that too much longer. Well, there we go. Some fire my way. And that Lancer just landed a good shot. But, alright, it's neutralized now. And at this point, it's just taking down the, Inferno and the Pike. So let's go for Pike first. Because it can see us. The Inferno can't. Keep the smoke up. And this is the last of this mech cluster minus the temperature adjuster, which hasn't initiated yet. I actually might want to keep the temperature adjuster because it seems to be moving the temperature a direction that I appreciate. All right. We are good on that front. Because I think the temperature adjuster is going to make it a little bit cooler, and that's actually might be kind of useful. So as far as schedules go, unrestricted for everybody, except for the slaves, and then the slaves, let's get rid of that old void zone. This slave zone is going to allow them to go in here, because there's really nothing dangerous anymore. I definitely got lucky with some glancing blows and the like, so I'm going to want shield belts and stuff like that to ensure that I don't rely upon luck for the future. Alright, Droiden, you are going to be farming for me. Oh, look at all this herbal meds. That's great. That's exactly what I wanted. So, Bonnie's Zeltec shirt and pants are going to be tattered sort of soon. I think pants are probably the next requirement, but we're not quite there yet where it's urgent. So with all the wood that we're getting, I'm going to put the bridges back, even though the bridges are kind of not an important task. I want them anyway. And then also to add in a slave sort of you know, slave room over here, slave barracks. So this will be the slave barracks in this spot. And that will be paired with the 2-wide walkway around it. I don't think that fire is going to cause any problems for us, but I'll keep an eye on it. So, with the cluster gone, let's open this fence back up. I guess I really didn't need the fence gate, because I was just going to open it back up. Looks like some of the components that we got out of here are on fire, and they're probably not going to survive, sadly. I could run up there and put the fire out, but I don't think one component is worth the trip. Let's hope that Oh, you know, there's components up here. Yeah, this is fine. Just enough to get a fabricator up and running so that we can make components of our own from steel. That's really the important part. Once Danishi, JD, and Droiden are up, I'm going to have them start to scarify each other and themselves, maybe having Bunny present as the cutter. And there we go. We are just about unmarshed where it matters. And the rain has triggered to put this fire out, which is great. So I don't really have to worry about that. Now, I'm definitely very low on vegetables, but it looks like I'm going to have a harvest of rice before too long, which means that lavish meals are still probably fine to manufacture. And these guests have been as annoying as I figured they would be. They have not let me down, I suppose. Alright, so we have a proper slave quarter. Wouldn't be a terrible idea in case they get sick to have a source of light in here, so that I can tend to them in their own barracks. And then maybe at some point installing some additional art or whatever to make their barracks a little bit nicer. But that's not really my chief concern. Okay, I think the bridge project is done, which is great. I'm moving the beer table in here because, of course, beer is a weapon that slaves can use against you. So, it's good to move it. All right. Look into the blocks that I have. It is granite time. So let's figure this out. I'm going to turn on the overlay for terrain affordance. And I'm going to build right up against the edge of the terrain affordance here. But also, I'd like to leave some room, some wiggle room around the edge of my own land. It wouldn't be terrible to include this rich, fertile area either. So we're certainly not looking at something that looks rectangular. And then the plan was to go around here like that. Now some of this, of course, is going to be added for doors and the like. I also, as you can see, have included the geyser vents so that I can incorporate them into the colony. So in total, we have 1, 2, 3. So there's one slightly out here if I need extra power. 3, 4, 5. So there's a lot of vents here. So if I wanted to go up and around like this, which obviously is a huge swath of wall to build, we would have the ability to add a whole lot of geysers to it. So then let's plan on the fire breaks and the doors. So I'm going to do a door here, I think, where it looks actually I'm going to change the design a little bit, where it looks like this. So it acts as a natural bottleneck. I'll put the wooden door on the inside and the stone door on the outside forced open. Yeah, I like this design. And I'll add a few more of these. So let's put a door, granite door here, 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 and here with the same sort of structured design. It's a lot of stone, but considering I have so many people cutting the stone, I don't really see much of an issue. We could also have it be slightly more elegant, hallway-like, like that. I suppose is maybe prettier. So it's like a T shape. I could do that. Nudge this up one so it looks just a bit nicer. So the concept, if you're wondering, if you're like, hey, why are you doing it like this? Is if enemies come in, they have to march through this hallway one by one, where we can stack up 3 wide here with brawlers, with like slave brawlers, and then have our shooters back here, where the slaves are the ones or whoever has shield belts are the ones taking the brunt of the force. It's not like flawless or perfect or anything like that, but it's effective. And effective is, for me, all that matters at this point. Okay, so we'll work on the southern wall first, and then I'm also going to want to do a cut plants for the path here, but I'll not pause the game, I'll let it run. And this is going to keep wild animals from eating our crops and farm stuff. It's going to act as a fire break. It is going to keep raiders out, protect our resources, all that good jazz. I also need to set up roofless zones around here, which I'll do in just a second. Because I don't want to put roofs on this. The reason being, you move a little bit slower when you're in the dark. So it's best to leave the roofs off. Okay. So there's the southern wall, and then we'll work on the northern wall. What I might do on first iteration is have it be a little bit smaller. Basically not go all the way around the Archonexus or anything like that. Until we need the power that is provided by these geysers up here. So just build a little bit smaller than the final form, if you will. Then we'll have a connector here, and then this will go out, and probably just south of the Architect Towers, running like that. Knowing that, of course, this fertile-rich soil is worthless completely and utterly, because it just gets abused by the Architect structure. You know, where it removes all its crops. Okay, looking good, looking good. Now, there was another quest for Menace Pods. These Menace Pods is a droner, an activator, power cells, mech nodes, high shield, low shield. Meaning with both high shield and low shield, it's going to be hard to get through without EMP, and I don't think I'm going to accept this because it is a lot of effort to destroy this for very little reward. And I'd rather just get building and make progress, which is more important to me at this juncture. And this border wall is really coming together pretty nicely. Another thing I could do is to send my slaves. Here, let's have them equip wood. Send my slaves to destroy the rest of the mech cluster. Probably tomorrow morning. So if you take a look, wielding wood is going to piss them off a little bit. You know what? Yeah, it's probably not worth it if it pisses them off. Just so that they're a little bit happier. I think we've already landed on that conclusion the last iteration of this colony. But yeah, so for some reason I needed a reminder. So now that we have a bunch of extra wood, another thing that we can start adding in is skull spikes. Skull spikes is desired by our ideology. And it's something that we've obviously left off a while. I don't really know where to put them. Well, whatever. So we'll put them there for now. 4 skull spikes in there. We'll have some skull spikes adorning the research room. And then 2 in the throne room. And then, of course, some in the ritual room. I forgot to scarify the slave, so that's another thing that we're going to have to do soon. Yeah, skull spikes in here as well. There we go. Now this is going to upset, possibly, actually I didn't check. Skull spikes desired for you? No, disapproved. Yeah, this is going to upset my guests. And Bonnie's harmony is actually rather low. So I think what I'm going to do is activate the Soother. Give a little bit of a strange feeling for a bit, and let people's moods improve a bit, because I don't need... Ooh, a betrayal offer for Shock Lance. Yeah, I don't mind if I do. So this betrayal offer... Yeah, I'll probably try to get a little bit more work out of my guests and then betray them. I do like me a Shock Lance. So we're gonna soon have a bunch of like satisfied skull spikes are around moods, which will be great. Bunny has a little bit more compacted machinery to mine out, so I'll trigger that up. One of the reasons why she's sort of moody and upset is the time it takes for her to get all the way out there and back, and then wading through the ocean makes her upset, completely understandably. Droiden, you are idle. How is this possible? So I think what I'm going to do is let's turn on the overlay here and clear out this section of land so that I can start farming here, because this is rich soil, which would be good. Taking a look at my research, I'm going to quickly pivot to Devil Strand. I'm going to stop what I'm currently researching, get Devil Strand, and then plant Devil Strand down here. One of the things about Devil Strand is Devil Strand cannot be blighted. It's not possible. So you can actually use Devil Strand as a blight break, but I'm obviously not doing that here. So this is going to be not allow sowing for now, and then eventually we'll allow sowing. And then the rest of the idlers here can just cut down trees. I know that I'm going to end up with a ton of wood, but we'll turn this wood into art with no luck, and then turn that art into colony value. Which means that No Luck can go back to the art bench and doing large sculptures forever. And then Bunnies... Oh, are you already done mining? You are, aren't you? Also looks like this is hollow, so I might actually take a second to mine out a little bit of this to see if it leads anywhere. It looks like it only leads to a node of steel, but it could be something else. And before I forget, let's kick off some scarf... Well, alright, Bunny's away, so I'm going to wait until the cutter is back home, but kick off some scarifications so that the slaves can be scarified. Basically branded is the way to look at it. And yeah, there's nothing here. Cool. 20 components is a great haul. This wall is getting together really, really fast. So I'll keep adding to it. And then, like I said, the first iteration of this is just going to cut across. And probably go around the pen somewhat, like this. And then we'll add the granite doors up top. If I could paint. Seems to be a problem of mine. And then I'll have to paint the no roof zones on it as well. I think what I'm going to end up doing is just to have this go the simpler route. Like this, and then I'll just adjust the pen appropriately so that it can, you know, not cut through the base in such a way. And Arden gave birth to a foal. All right. Almost the complete southern wall is done, thanks to the abundance of granite blocks that I had and the short work of No Luck and Trustin. And we have a royal tribute collector. Oh boy. Okay, let's do this. I am going to corral my guests here, and then that's all of them. I decided that probably berserking them, here, let me hold fire, is gonna be the most effective. So that they can beat each other up and I don't really have to get involved. Okay, I'm growing bored of this. What I think I'll do is I'll berserk them on the pretext of beating them up, so I'm not really blamed for it. Get over here. And then I will imprison them. And this is going to be a temporary prison, realizing that, yes, the T is in there. So that I can capture them all very, very effectively. And that way, the betrayal doesn't come until the damage is already done. Right? Because now they can't really do anything. They're already all unconscious. And I can capture each and every one of them, selling them into slavery, fulfilling the betrayal, and then also donating these for honor. So, maximum effectiveness, I'd like to think. All right, let's see here. I would like to grind out some medical training skill, tending to them. And then, taking a look, Sven is 4 over, Bunny is 10 over. So Bunny has a lot of spare honor. I think what I'm going to do is have Trustin donate 3 of them, and then Sven donate 1, or something like that. And that way we get a good mix of, you know, a good mix of honor, excess honor. Thank you, Royal Tribute Collector. That was a perfect timing. Oh yeah, they're going to try to escape because the doors are wide open. me just quickly close the doors so that doesn't happen. All right, they are patched up and ready to be shipped off. So Sven, or actually Trustin, you go first. Okay, so the only one I can do right now is Masaru. I don't really want their clothing, so I don't really care about that. So I'm going to do Masaru and then wait for the other ones to gain consciousness. One of the things I could do to help them gain consciousness is to administer Psych IT, which reduces pain a little bit so that they can walk out sooner. So I'm going to do that. So Talia, as you can see, is no longer capable of walking. I'll do that to Carbon. No longer capable of walking. So let's get rid of these two. And then I'll have an excess honor of 9, which allows me to call in some extra favors here. So if you take a look, I'm now count 9, which means that I can call in extra favors whenever I want. And then Sven, you're going to do the last one. So Veneman is going to be yours. I have them keeping their clothing because their clothing was very tattered and worthless to me. And there we go. All of them have been sold off to slavery. Now, at this point, let's do the scarification. I am not going to have any participants because they don't really matter. So the entire southern wall is done. We're now working our way north. And satisfying scarification, let's do that again. Here, I'll have these slaves attend, because why not? So 1,100 wood collected. It's a really good amount. We also have a climate adjustment. So this climate adjuster, honestly, I should probably wall it up and protect it because it is all it's doing. If you take a look at the default temperatures that we have in the colony here, it is 85 Fahrenheit to 91 Fahrenheit. So this is bringing it from 85 to 75 or 81. It honestly is just making it nicer. So yeah, party on. Make it nicer. That works for me. So there is the second to last scarification, and then the last one now. And we'll have a little bit of like, hey, slave sold, and scarification was nice, stuff like that. So, Bunny's mood is going to improve just a wee bit. All right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pets on a hitching spot because this pen here is getting broken down and replaced with proper granite. Oh, the betrayal was for them to die. I'm happier with the honor anyway. I don't need a shock lance. All right, and that one was boring, but it doesn't matter because they're scarified now. And then up here, let's get just rid of this stone here that's just sort of in the way. Now, as we work up here, we have to be a little careful not to get too close to the Architect Tower. It's going to start affecting our mood. Now, what I could do is, if I do keep the doors closed and not propped open like I sometimes do, I could allow the animals to roam kind of wherever they want. And one of the advantages of that, of course, would be that they could eat everything and then just individually wall off the farms. But I think I'm going to put them in the pen anyway, just so I can control exactly where they are. It also looks like I am just about out of granite, so granite block queue will be picked back up soon. In fact, no luck. Here, start this sculpt, and then I'm going to have you start to go back to stone cutting. Our food amount looks pretty good. Our rice bounced back, and we have a good amount of meat. Now, because we're in the tropical rainforest, there's really never going to be a scenario where we don't have enough meat to feed ourselves, which is very cool. I'm also going to start hauling the dead mechanoids down here so that I can shred them more easily. And then these doors propped open, and eventually we'll put people through those doors so that they're actually forced open. And that way we can enter the base much, much, much more quickly if we need to. So my still amount still doesn't look amazing. And considering I'm about to start fabricating, once Sven finishes up the fabrication research, I ought to start stockpiling, knowing that fabrication is going to be done soon. But a very productive farm. That makes me happy. And then I'm also going to cancel all chopwood designations so that these slaves can either haul mechs or go back to stone cutting until I need more wood, because we have 1,200 wood on here yet to be hauled in. I don't need to be cutting more wood until I haul what I already have. And a combat supplier. Awesome. They're from West Hinia, so it's probably not going to be that helpful, but something. Some little gift. I don't currently have anyone on cleaning duty, so gotta note that. Another advantage of the full perimeter walls is when the slaves are within the walls, they don't have an escape route, which means that they will they will less likely try to escape. Their rebellion interval decreases. So that is yet another reason to wall up like I have. So Sven, come on over here and see what they will buy. They'll probably buy a lot of this, the unwanted weapons, yeah. Great. I do want the tech print for jump packs, but I'm not 100% sure I'll be able to afford it. But jump pack tech is amazing. So I could sell my smoke launcher, but that would be a little expensive to part with. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to afford the jump pack tech. That's okay. I can find it in Ancient Dangers pretty reliably. So we got rid of a lot of the garbage that was in here, and what's left is either biocoded or unwanted. I'm going to set Droiden up to start cleaning, because it looks like things got a little messy around the base. Just a wee bit. And have Bunny continue mining for all that future steel. We're so very close to full perimeter. And Shivaru just gave birth. Nothing like giving birth to a calf. Oh no, this one isn't tethered. For a second, I thought it was born tethered to the post. Would be a unique skill, let's call it. All right, that will be the pen for now. Once we get that down, I'll put a gate in, but gates don't, in my opinion, really matter. You don't, I don't tend to find that the characters move quickly through gates, which means gates don't particularly speed up traveling around your map tile here. Gotta say, it does look very clean in here. Much tidier than before. Not certain how I like them eating my lavish meals, but I guess they did give me a good 500, 400 silver or so for trade. So Bunny's nearly done with this steel node. It's gonna just about double the amount of steel that we had in the colony. And then we'll have the perimeter walls all nice and constructed in just a minute. Protected and behind walls, which is terrific. So there's just 2 spots up north that need to be filled in for a full wall. And No Luck almost has the pen all set. The only problem with the not roofing off these areas is, yeah, we're going to want to add concrete into these spots so that they don't grow plants. That way, we're not blocked by trees or anything like that. I just noticed that. So fill those in. Of course, Trustin keeps getting the tasks where he has to cut down trees, and he's so bad at it. And this pen should be... Oh, it's not enclosed yet. I apologize. Let's see. No Luck and Trustin. Let's get up there and enclose it so that the animals don't wander away free. All right, pen is enclosed. Well, everybody, this is where I'm going to leave off. Thank you for tuning in to episode 46 of the Archotechs, 2 Ways to Backstab. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you're a Patreon patron of mine and would like a character named after you in this series or others, the Patreon raffle is on Discord. The link to that can be found in the description. If you'd like to become a patron, patreon.com/Rhadamant, or again, the link in the description is how to do so. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll catch you next episode. Farewell, Architects.